Hi. So tonight, I wanted to talk about uh, just mainly strictly drug addiction. I know an addiction is an addiction, but if you've ever been in the rooms and know the difference between, or differences between Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous, there's some differences, obviously, like the substance and certain experiences, but it's, all encompassing. Like, we're not much different from each other. Some of us struggle with both. I've met people who struggled with narcotics and not alcohol. It doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things, but I want to talk about mine, see if this helps or relates to anybody. So about 7 years ago, I was a IV drug user. My DOC at the time was meth, but I've used meth and heroin and shot up pain pills as well. And I want to talk about this particular addiction phase that I had with these substances in particular because my 7 years clean off IV drug use is next month. And I've been thinking about it a lot, not using, but thinking about my clean time with that and the past memories I had when I was struggling with those particular substances. And I have met and have been, reached out to and been, encompassed by people either having a history of dealing with narcotics issues or currently struggling with them. And I found a commonality, whether it was alcohol or narcotics, right? Is that obsession. And, I hear phrases all the time about, yeah, it's a struggle sometimes, it's really rough and it's really hard. And it is. Addiction is a disease. The obsession makes it super fucking hard to maintain or even get clean in the first place. And I was thinking about the time when I got clean off IV, meth and heroin, and my spiritual experience that I had during that time. I went on a 3-day bender shooting up, and I don't know, something came over me. I got clean for 2 weeks, and then I found I was pregnant with my son. And that saved me. And I don't recommend getting knocked up or having a child to get you clean, but for me, and it's maintained that for 7 years. That was my spiritual experience. I know there's some people that were using and they did have children and they continued using. That wasn't the case for me. So everybody's recovery or addiction story is different, but it was for me. And it was, I still remember to this day, 7 years ago, 7+ years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago, sorry. How divine of an intervention that was. And I've not stuck a needle in my arm since that time. And now I'm currently, 23 days sober off alcohol, and I have been going through that, spiritual journey and recovery journey, and it's a different experience from where it was 7 years ago, but I was a different person. Also, 7 years ago, I was in a different place, so of course it's going to be different, but it's the same thing. It's that spiritual intervention. It's that just choosing not to pick up again every single day, fighting temptation, walking away from that obsession and choosing to just sit in it. Not the obsession, but just sit in that moment and get through it. And I was hardcore, man. I was hardcore into it. I was a daily user, 8 to 10 needles a day, running and gunning, like I said, stealing and dealing, you name it, I'd done it. I thank God every day that I didn't I never caught a felony, I never did prison time, I never did jail time for any drug-related things. The shit that I was doing was definitely would put me there. But yeah, I could say almost 7 years later, I had no desire to stick a needle in my arm. I had no desire to use any of those substances whatsoever, and that freedom from that obsession just gives me a sense of freedom and serenity I can't even explain. And so when I'm going through my steps right now with my alcoholism, I am super hoping to kind of have that same intensity. And I've already had some intervention spiritually and some like aha epiphany moments and some peace of mind and serenity already given to me. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Because it's not just like using in general, it's that whole lifestyle, it's that whole habitual cycle, it's a whole obsession, that insanity cycle, and it's insane. It's literally insane. It's literally insanity. Like I said, I'll say it over and over again. It is, because no like-minded or sound of mind person would do this to themselves. No one. So of course, yeah, it's insanity. It's not a way to live. You're going on a road to nowhere. Jails, institutions, or death. That's true shit. And what I love about NA and AA is that, it's real. It's like, listen, you either want it or you don't. Okay, you want it. Okay, you need to do the work and you need to do these steps. And if you don't, you're going to die. Or you're going to end up institutionalized or in jail. And that's it. Your life will mean nothing. And it's that real. That is the facts. Once you accept that, and truly accept it for what it is, then you can be free. And it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have cravings. You're gonna have that insidious voice in the back of your head being like, hey, you've been doing really good for a while. You should treat yourself. Or if you struggle with mental health issues on top of it, or trauma, because our addictions are just a symptom of deeper stuff. So it could be a lack of a spiritual relationship with your higher power. It could be mental health issues. It could be trauma, unresolved trauma. It could be self-esteem issues. It could be a combination of all those things. It could be everything. Because you never worked on it before. But I'm telling you, and I told myself, I'm like, if I can quit the needle, I can quit the bottle. Because just because one is, societally or, stigma-wise or perspective-wise is worse than the other, and the other one's more socially accepted, it doesn't make it better. And it definitely doesn't make it better for my brain, for my life, for me, because I'm an addict. It doesn't matter what it is. Or the, sociology behind it, or the social acceptance. It's not good for me. It'll keep me sick. So just something to think about, like I said at the beginning of this video, I've noticed little tiny differences between, NA, AA, people that were addicted to narcotics or stimulants or, drugs like that, and then alcoholics and alcohol or whatever. It's not much different, man. It really isn't. Addiction is addiction. I don't like putting shit in a box or stereotyping substances or, what you're addicted to, because we're all struggling with something. And it is all connected. We are all connected in that way. You're struggling with substance or alcohol issues. So something to think about. That's why, the 12-step program is so important. That's why going to meetings is so important. That's why, hanging out with other, sober junkies and sober drunks is important. so you can kind of figure out for yourself where you lie and what work you need to do, and be honest with yourself. And so with me, I recently realized being honest with myself, not only am I a junkie and a drug addict, I'm also an alcoholic. I can't do any of it. So hopefully someone has thought these things that I've thought, can relate to that. That's what I wanted to talk about. So take care of yourself. It works if you work it. God bless you. And if you feel like you're struggling with any of those things, whether it's alcohol or narcotics or stimulants or whatever, anything, reach out to me. Message me. I'm available. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can message me on here. I don't care. I don't care where you're from. It doesn't matter. If you're struggling, reach out. And that also means mental health related shit too. Because you're not alone. Thanks.